The MCU has been filling up its shared universe with superheroes, but are they running through villains too quickly? And can the Marvels slow them down? If we're being honest here, Phase 4 had a lot stacked against it. First of all, it had to follow Avengers Endgame, the ultimate all-skate conclusion to the Infinity Saga and the loss of two central characters, Cap and Iron Man. It also faced a year and a half where everyone was grounded and sent to their room. And as if restarting a new saga with new characters was not hard enough, it was also tasked with bolstering Disney's new streaming service. The streamer needed content, and it needed it quickly. With all of that on Phase 4's plate, it may have skipped out on a key element of a shared universe. That being, sharing the universe. Which is not to say that there has not been a fair amount of cross-pollination. Doctor Strange teamed up with Spider-Man and his amazing other Spider-Men for Spider-Man No Way Home, and then was on the receiving end of Wanda's heel turn to Scarlet Witch in his own movie, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Rhodey has made 2 guest appearances over on Disney Plus in his role of telling people what they're doing wrong. Yelena made the leap from the Black Widow movie to the Hawkeye series, trying to kill her sister's best friend. In his role as Sorcerer Supreme, Wong has made a few appearances of his own, first in Shang-Chi fighting Abomination in his illegal cage match and then dealing with the fallout on She-Hulk, which was also bookended by appearances by Cousin Bruce. The Multiverse Saga's Big Bad made an early appearance, far earlier than Thanos and his menacing smile at the end of the Avengers. Kang, in the guise of He Who Remains, appeared as the monster at the end of the book for Loki, and is set to return as Victor Timely in the 2nd season, while the titular Kang the Conqueror was either done in or was shunted off to another universe by Ant-Man. What they have been lacking is a Loki, or perhaps even an Ultron, though Ultron does illustrate the problem, despite being the last dance of Phase 2. Having a shared universe solved one of the biggest hurdles facing adapting comic book characters to the big screen. In that previous paradigm, each new hero had to establish a world devoid of superheroes, but is about to get one, or a team. When you have characters that are inherently interconnected, like Rogue and Carol Danvers, or Ms. Marvel and Carol Danvers. But the other problem is that superheroes are often defined by their arch nemesis as a vital and evolving part of their story. If Batman kills the Joker in his first or second outing, does he become one of Batman's biggest rivals, or just some weirdness he encountered when he started out? Even in a mutant shared universe, the Fox Marvel movies made the mistake of killing Sabretooth in the first movie. Thanks to their chaotic approach to continuity, they gave that character another shot. But more importantly, villains like Loki certainly have a signature good guy whose goat they want to get, but their ambition is greater than that. Phase 4 contains the exception that proves the rule in Hawkeye. When Barton Fink got to the bottom of the tracksuit mafia's shenanigans, he found himself face to face with Daredevil's signature foe, Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin. In this case, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, reprising his turn from the Netflix Daredevil series. Villains like Kingpin, Loki, Doctor Doom, and Norman Osborn certainly have number 1s on their most hated list, but their ambitions can find them facing off against off-brand heroes now and then. Most of the villains so far either didn't make it to the end of the movie or don't have much break-off potential. Part of the problem is having a villain that has a personal connection to the hero. It's good storytelling. Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery isn't remarkable because it's a fantastic group of powers, but rather how personal most of them are. But when they're so personal, like Shang-Chi's father or the various Egyptian deities handing out powers in Moon Knight, or the creator of the Red Room in Black Widow, it isolates those stories, which isn't always a bad thing. But the destination of this trip is an even bigger all-skate than Endgame: Secret Wars. With the 2015 Secret Wars serving as the template, a lot of that can be covered via alternate heroes versus heroes. But at the core of Secret Wars is its heroes and villains all hands-on-deck conflict. And while we've been stacking some heroes, we've been losing villains. There is hope. While the actual Mandarin, who thinks Mandarin is a silly name, is gone, His daughter has taken up the reins of the original crossover baddie. The Ten Rings were hired by Stain to get rid of Tony Stark. They were around to bid on weaponized Pym particles in Ant-Man, and Shang-Chi's little sis seems to be putting a new face to the centuries-old organization. Doctor Strange's villain was once an ally, and while she seemingly sacrificed herself, we never saw a body. In comics stories, that is vital. Being planet-sized himself, Arishem could shape up to be everyone's problem, if the Eternals doesn't quietly go in the "let's never speak of this again" pile next to the Inhumans. Marvel's harbors a villain that can follow in another baddie's footsteps. Ronan the Accuser ran afoul of the fledgling Guardians of the Galaxy. Later, we found out that he was Yon-Rog's more aggressive backup when Carol Danvers returned to Earth. He ended that story saying that he'd be back for Captain Marvel, but we know that he did not get that chance, thanks to a dance-off with Peter Quill. Another Accuser is on deck for the Marvels, and she is a doozy. Her male counterpart in the comics became the leader of the Kree after putting space pirate Clumsy Foulup in charge, and that turned out to be a bad idea. That's his real name, by the way. He gains powers in Silver Surfer Volume 3, Issue 31, if you have a chance. In the trailers, she's sporting the other bangle that pairs with Ms. Marvel's. That Kree tech creates a bridge between Danvers, Khan, and Rambaugh. As Marvel explores more space Marvel to fill the Guardians of the Galaxy-sized hole, the Kree, along with their lifetime rival the Skrulls, have been a universal cosmic foe. One man who has managed to be everyone's enemy, even the Beyonder, is waiting in the wings in the form of Victor Von Doom, monarch of Latveria and super angry lab partner of one Reed Richards. If there's anyone who has a signature foe who gets around, it's Doom.